in the light. Lois be chilling right now. Ask, and ye shall receive. It's a nice day in sunny Southern California with the Queen of West Hollywood just chilling. Now these streets in a few hours will be loaded with booze and all kinds of liquids from the human body. What up, Albert Barnes? Albert Bad News Barnes. Well, here comes three girls. Let me see if I can run my game. This is a Skakel classic line. I always do. Hold on. Wait till they get in walking distance. So yeah, do you know where I can get that book, Tax Breaks for Billionaires? Lois coughing didn't help. Lois will. You ought to see the urine that falls out of this dog's bladder. It's unbelievable. But she got to pick her spot. People asking about my comedy store spots this weekend. I'm closing out, I mean, look at that. I'm closing out the main room tomorrow night. And then Sunday night, just doing a regular spot. Isn't this great? We got graffiti in my neighborhood now. I mean, this is unbelievable. KNC, I don't know what that stands for. Hold on, I gotta pick up Lois's dog, dude. This is gonna be tough. See, I carry my bags. I'm responsible. I don't know if O'Neill is working. I never look at who's on the lineup. I don't care who I follow. I don't, oops, excuse me.
Worrying about like.
Hey, how are you, bud? I'm sure he is. He usually is on the weekends with me. I don't know if you saw that dude with the white hair walking past me just now, but he's a very well-known. I mean, that's LA really in a nutshell. You look at these two homeless people right here. I mean, this is the daytime, and they're just walking around like lost souls. There's a gay dance club. Now in a couple hours, this place will be wall to wall and balls to balls. Hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. So this is West Hollywood in the daytime. See, like that girl has beautiful hair. And the crazy thing about this neighborhood is that could be a dude. You never know. So, welcome to West Hollywood. That's Rocco's. That's another gay nightclub. West Hollywood Sheriff Station right there. Amazing the amount of crime we get, and the sheriff station is right there. These criminals don't give a fuck. Not too much interesting going on here. By the way, rest in peace to really horrible story in the hockey world with Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, who was a minor league hockey player. Not that that should matter. And the crazy thing is, his sister, or their sister, was getting married today. And she was, I believe, 4 months pregnant. And so many lives ruined because of an idiot drunk driver. Here's the West Hollywood Design Center. A lot of fashion brands have their home base there. It's another homeless guy. I mean, they're everywhere. Here's the big dog park. There's a little one over there. Yeah, it's pretty sad, man. And by all accounts, he was a great dude. Very fan friendly. Now, this is the dog park where he's not there today, but a lot of times I see the singer from the Tubes, Fee Waybill. You know, their big hit was She's a Beauty. And here's a little interesting thing about the Tubes video for She's a Beauty. See, Lucian, you know the Skakel classics. Is the little kid in the video for the Tubes, She's a Beauty? The little boy ended up growing up to be David Arquette's sister, Alexis. She transitioned, I'm not sure at what age, but it's kind of an interesting tidbit. Oh man, that's a tough one. I mean, Ralphie ate a lot, man. I mean, I love Ralphie, but it really wasn't surprising that he died of a heart attack. Oh, there's human shit all over here, bro. So, I got people working out in this little outdoor area. It's a cool park. You know, I mean, late at night, it's impressive, man.
Just trying to shed some decades.
I thought I was in shape. That just made me.
You want to try it?
Not right now. Thank you, though. But this This neighborhood, or this park at night is bonkers. It is just filled with people doing things, everything that ends in ing. I don't want to get my channel struck, but I think you guys could come up with some creative words that end in ing. Come on, Lois. Daddy's on a time schedule. Now here's, actually it's becoming a very popular workout. I don't do it because, to be honest with you, my, even though I have a torn ACL in this right leg, the stairs, people, Lois is feeling it right now. These are some pretty good stairs to run or climb. I think my friend says he does it 10 times up and down. But my leg is, I don't know if it's up for that. Fornicating, effing, sucking. You guys get the picture. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Oh shit, you got a black guy juggling? That's pretty impressive. Yeah. Lois is fired up right now. Let's go this way, Lois. She's feeling it right now. Let me get one more dog bag. Hold on, Lois. I think she wants to hit the grass. Come on, let's go. She loves the grass. That's why I would like to get a small yard for Lois. I would say Queen on, it's about 90. It's pretty hot. That Wally George? No, I'm just gonna, it's an old school LA reference for you guys. And here's the small dog park. Lois does like the action. Now, the strangest people in this dog park are actually the dog walkers. They think they fucking own the place. They get a little rambunctious. One of my, actually we can, yeah, she has Zoom. Zoom knows what time it is. Wally George was really the father of combat television. You know, he was before Morton Downey. You know, he was like, now as a kid, I didn't realize that the guests were fake. And I think every now and then, Wally would have real guests on, but it was basically Sean Hannity on steroids. The little mixture of Michael Savage. Now we're going to cut through this alley. Oh boy. I do have a pool at my place. I would say in the 23 years I've lived in my building, I've gone in the pool under 20 times. Yeah, I mean, he was great. Of course, if you really want some entertainment, which I know you do, look up Wally George and Gypsy. Now, Gypsy was an old school drag queen. Now, you gotta understand, to be a drag queen in the mid-'80s is a lot different than what it is now, where it's accepted. And Gypsy had the best comedy timing. And, you know, so when Gypsy goes on stage, now this used to be Pump, Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant. They're now turning it into a gay bar called Rooster Fish. Here is maybe the greatest name for a bar ever, the Mother Lode. I wish they spelled it L-O-A-D. That would be even funnier. And Gypsy, as soon as he walks out on stage, the whole crowd's yelling, homo, homo, homo. And instead of getting offended, Gypsy ate it up and gave it back to them. Really, really funny. Now here's Tom. If you watch Vanderpump Rules, this will get your wee-wee wet. I know, that would be funny if straight bars had the name like the Big Beaver. I've always wanted to have a gay bar and call it the Cockatoo. Get it? The Cockatoo. I'm sure Doom gets it. Hello, Doom in the house. Come on, Lois. It's not that exciting in the daytime, to be honest with you. But it's still fun to see what it looks like in the daytime. Here is Rocco's. Now, I think Lance Bass used to own this. He also, he might still own Rocco's. And he also owns that place, which was called Heart. It's now called Beaches. Now, to show you how much it costs to operate a club, like, you can't really see the size of that, but my buddy used to manage Heart for Lance Bass. And he told me that it cost him $10,000 a day just to open up the club. 10 grand. Stugas! Guy almost ran me over. Oh, Halloween, it's next level. I mean, it is unbelievable here at Halloween. So, like, from Doheny, which is about a half mile west of here, to La Cienega, you can't move. It's, I think, close to 1 million people. And, yeah, she's friendly. We got a little romance here. Lois, it's all right. Is she a puppy?
He's gonna be 3 in December, so acts like a puppy still.
Yeah. She's 14, so, but she loves to play with big dogs. She's fired up right now. Oh, it's all good. She doesn't mind. It's all right. I wish we were in a park. I'd let her loose. Have a good one. Lois making fucking buddies. Well, see, I disagree. I think the thing these guys do, like Lance Bass, Gene Simmons with Tongue Magazine is they basically sell their name, so they don't put their own money into it. So it's actually kind of smart. Like, they get the profit, whatever they get paid, 50 grand, 100 grand, who knows. And then any losses, it ain't on them. So now you guys, Zoom knows this, but here's Flaming Saddles. And this building used to be a recording studio, Larrabee Sound Studios. And that sign is still in the park, the parking lot. But parts of, I think someone told me, Purple Rain. I just assumed that was done in his studio in Minneapolis, but parts of Purple Rain were done there, and Ozzy Osbourne's The Ultimate Sin album was also done there. Now here's LA Buns, the famous hot dog stand. Favorite Ozzy song? Yeah, I mean, I just find it funny. Let me, trying to think where they have a great celebrity, because you guys are good to me, I'll do this. Girl, please don't trip over your hog. No More Tears is good. I like Bark at the Moon. I like the Jakey Lee stuff mainly. Say Bark at the Moon, Shot in the Dark, Lightning Strikes. Let me see what else. There's a pretty hot chick right there. If I wasn't doing this, I'd run my magic. Gonna take you nice and cool in here. But now, if we're lucky, that drag queen gypsy, his photo is up here, I think. So let's see the celebrity photo. There's Jimmy Connors. Here's my favorite, Vic Tayback, man. He's killing it. Fabio, very young Harvey Levin, Burt Reynolds, Dr. Christian Troy, Brock Peters, one of the great voiceover actors of all time. Let me see, Robert Vaughn, Farrah Fawcett, very famous. Wall of Fame here. Brian O'Neill. Come on. I think they took Gypsy's picture down. I know Vic Tayback. He was so funny. What was that movie he did with Patrick Dempsey? Was it Pizza Boy or Lover Boy? I think it was Lover Boy. It's a pretty funny movie. Of course, my first agent, I think he's still alive, was Joe Kokowitz from Sportscasting Plus. And I don't know how I got signed to this agency, because it was all athletes. I was like the only non-athlete And I was a pretty big guy back then, but man, I looked teeny on this roster. I think they wanted me for like hockey auditions and shit. Because in like 1988, I was the perfect size for a hockey player. 6'1", 190, and jacked. Nothing too exciting on this street, to be completely honest with you. Loverboy. Well, I bring up my first agent because the big guy in that movie was Peter Koch. You might not remember that name, but Peter Koch, or it might be Peter Koch. I think it's Koch, though. He was, if you've ever seen the Clint Eastwood movie Heartbreak Ridge, he was the Swede. He was kind of like, looked like a little bit like Brock Lesnar, maybe not quite as big, but he was pretty big. I would always see him in the office when we would go in to get our auditions. And he would always look at me like, what are you doing with this agency? And I did like some of Jake E. Lee's work on the Randy Rhoads solos. If you look at on YouTube, it's 1984 Salt Lake City. The great version with Jake E. Lee on guitar. A Suicide Solution. I think he does his guitar solo in the middle of it. It's really good. And a primed, fully coked up Ozzy basically pulling Jake E. Lee's hair out. And Jake didn't miss a note. The Swede. Yeah, he was pretty big, but you remember him from Loverboy. He was like, I think Patrick Swayze had, he was a gigolo in the movie, and he had slept with Peter Koch, girlfriend or wife, so the whole movie, Peter and Vic Tayback are chasing after Patrick Dempsey. I don't know, it's a stupid movie, but yeah, I mean, she might not have taken bumps in the ring, but holy fuck. Can you imagine a horny Brock Lesnar? Like a woo, deli. Yeah, I used to run into Andrew a lot. He was a big metal fan. And I'd see him at every Motorhead show. And he didn't know who I was. But he was always nice to me because he always saw me backstage. Like, he was backstage. And, I'm not going to blow the guy up, but sometimes he would ask me for some powdered refreshment, if you know what I'm saying. Last time I saw Andrew was at the gas station I go to late night. And I'll be damned if he didn't ask me for some powdered refreshment there. Must be something about me. Now here is, I forget who lived here in Vanderpump Rules, but I think Kristen and Tom Schwartz lived in this building. So, I realize that this is not the most exciting walk, but it serves two purposes. I get to walk the baby, and I also give you guys content that doesn't involve child pornography or someone's DUI. I'm not stream sniping anybody. I'm a soldier. Sorry, I can't read the questions in the daylight. My friend Judy lives in that building. Ex-stripper, giant knockers. She's like 70 and has a better body than any 20-year-old. I mean, this is a West Hollywood walk. Let me get in the shade here. See, Ben Jones in the house. Well, I don't think Andrew's done with it. Great look for those late 80s, mid 90s. You know, you always needed a big white guy who looked like a maniac. And he was in like The Program and many other movies. Good actor too. Oh, did Judy Tenuta die? That's too bad. I didn't really know her, but it's always sad. Yeah, I bet you do, Ross. I bet you do. Always sad when we lose a comic. Yeah, he was really good on The Program. Perfect casting. I would say that Peter was probably too old for that role. I think he was, you know, he was young looking, great body, very good looking guy, but probably too old to audition for that part. Johnny Goudreau and his brother Matthew died. Killed last night. I guess they were riding their bicycles. And a drunk driver hit both of them. And the sad thing, I mean, it's sad that in and of itself, but the really sad thing is their sister was getting married today. And just breaking news that she was 4 months pregnant. So just, wow. Or it might have been not the sister was pregnant, but the Johnny Goudreau's girlfriend or wife. I'm not sure. It was 4 months pregnant. So just horrible. Like one guy's stupid decision to drive fucking drunk when he could have taken an Uber or anything. Now has ruined multiple lives. So I hope that motherfucker is in a prison cell the rest of his life and they plaster pictures of Johnny and Matthew Goudreau all over his cell. So he's got to think about it every second that he's up. I mean, I almost got hit by a car the other day. It was last Friday night. I'm walking up to the Whiskey A Go-Go to do merch for my buddy's band Tough. And I'm waiting at the intersection. The walk sign, you know, flashes walk. This guy's looking at me who's waiting to make a right turn where I would be walking into and doesn't even care, just goes. And so I hit his car with my hand. Now most people would be too scared. They're like, this guy's insane, he just hit my car with his fist. This guy does a U-turn and goes, hey motherfucker, do that again, see what happens. And I said to him, hey motherfucker, almost hit me again and I will. Now what he didn't realize is I've become neighborhood friends with the Vagos Motorcycle Club. And obviously I'm not a Vago, but I'm a friend of the family. And this happened right outside their tattoo shop. And let's just say this guy got a little scared when he realized who my friends were. All right, so this concludes the Earl and Lois walk. Let me, I know. Here's the famous pool. It's the Earl pool. All right. Lois got her food and water ready. Here's the studios of the Earl Skakel Auditorium. Well, I'll keep this going for a few more minutes. I mean, there's worse. Oh, I wear this because the back of my neck gets sunburnt. We'll turn on the Earl sign for you freaks. Hold on, I'm getting some text messages while I was out walking. Let me just text this person back. What the fuck? Well, no, my neck. I don't get tan, William. I get red. So I don't think I'll stream again tonight. Maybe I will. You know, I'm going to yoga right now, and well, here's I'll show you. You know, I often talk about the my voiceover mic. This is my voiceover mic right here. This is the Neumann T103. It's underneath this. I got a little bubble right here to limit some of the sound. No, but I don't get red, William. I get burnt. Like, it's brutal. So now I wear this to cover the back of my neck. I know I look ridiculous, but I don't care, man. I'm all about personal comfort. But in turn, yeah, you know, my pad's cool. There's, I'll show you around. There is the Jellies painting that Chandler got me once for my birthday. Thank you, Albert Barnes. I'm white, about like you, Earl. Yeah, well, this building's pretty hard to break into, so I'm pretty lucky in that regard. Here's my television set. That's where I work out when I can't get to the gym. And, you know, it's pretty and here's what it's like. You know, when you guys see my stream, you don't see this side. There's the Jack Lambert framed photo, the Vince Neil. You can kind of see that sometimes. And, of course, we've got the Earl sign. We've got my Lex Luger doll that I got signed, the artwork. And then this is the Comedy Store record player that's underneath, but there's my name. Where's my name? Right there. So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty basic condo, but I like it. I don't know about that, William, because what happens, I'm not doubting your prowl technique, but someone broke in about 6 months ago. They had the Jimmy and like the car thing when you try and unlock your door, if you dropped your keys in there, they jimmied in, so they've covered up the door lock where it's impossible to pick the lock. So now you could scale the front of the building, but that would be pretty hard. It would take a lot of work and a lot of noise. Yes, the Steve Stevens ray gun. I have two of them, as you know. But, dingbat. Yo, Earl, saw you in the store a few weeks ago. Sorry, I forgot to say hello. R.I.P. Sid Udy, buckle up. Things are going to jump after September 8th. September 6th. I think September 10th is the debate. Stay safe. Hope you make it out of there. Well, I mean, it depends on your method. I mean, we have had some randoms just say they're delivering a package, or now with Postmates, it's pretty easy to just carry up a lunch bag and say I'm delivering food, and some of the nicer neighbors would just let you in. I mean, listen, I know that if thieves want in, they're going to find a way in. But I lock my door most of the time. When I don't have Lois, I lock the door 100% of the time. But I have a great neighbor to the left of me who, when Lois barks a little too much, she comes in and gets her. Because I try and be a good neighbor. It's like State Farm. So, maybe I'll do a few more streams in the afternoon. Although it was fun to do a stream last night. Now, here's one of my favorite pictures ever. Me and Annie. That's me and Annie's first picture together. Look at that dog, man. Look at that smile. She is hot, but I have several windows open. And I've got a fan going. So Lois is very well taken care of. Let's see what's going on in the world of Twitter right now. Of course, Johnny Goudreau is trending hard. Kevin Hayes is trending hard. I'm going to assume, okay. Well, I mean, he was very well liked. Just so sad. Man, these fucking drunk drivers. Midday Daddy, man. Yes, Dr. Nova. Not for long, though. I have to go to yoga in a few minutes. But I thought that I would do a midday Lois walk. Oh, you mean the neighborhood being hot? Yeah, I mean, well, our building, even though we've had some armed robberies, literally right where I walked up, no break-ins into the building. Although one night, maybe about 6 months ago, a wild homeless guy got in the garage somehow, and about 3 or 4 in the morning, the head of the homeowners called me because he knew I was the only one up in the building, and that's when I had to dispense some vigilante justice. So I'm lucky in that regard. But there is a lot of crime in this neighborhood, absolutely. Which is crazy, because if you saw the beginning of this video, you see how close I am to the sheriff's station. I mean, I could shoot a hockey puck to the sheriff's station and hit it. So the thieves these days, they don't give a fuck. And you saw the graffiti at the beginning of the video. I mean, that's gang graffiti. So it's an interesting neighborhood to. Well, the funny thing is, I can say this now about that night. The homeless guy or this crazy guy was in the garage. So he was stockpiling everything he was stealing by the back garage door. So after me and my buddy kick him out, my buddy calls me up, and at this point it's about 4:30 in the morning. He says, "Hey man, he left all his shit in the garage. And it was pouring rain that night. Let's put it all on the sidewalk so he doesn't try and get back in." So me and this dude, the head of the homeowners, we put all this shit out on the sidewalk in a blizzard-like rain. I mean, it rarely rains like it was raining that night in LA. And then, so it's about 4:45 in the morning. He calls me 15 minutes later. He goes, "Hey, we got to put all that shit back." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "That's not his stuff we just put on the sidewalk. That's the shit he was stealing." So then we had to go out in the pouring rain. And of course, this guy's not the biggest guy in the world, so I had to lift all this heavy shit. And but I'm a good neighbor. So that's just a little slice of what it's like to live in West Hollywood, California. It's there's something for everyone in this neighborhood, I'll say that. And I'll probably do a stream Sunday night. Thank you, Albert Barnes. I do my best. Trying to get the YouTube channel up and killing it. Like I said, Saturday night, tomorrow night, I am at the Comedy Store in the Holtzman, Brody, Kinnison, Tripoli spot of closing out the main room at 12:15, but because everyone runs the fucking lights so much, it's closer to 1 o'clock. So sometimes the crowd's great and they're rowdy, and other times they're just fucking tired. So you never know what you're getting until you literally walk on the stage. And then Sunday night, I have a spot at 11 o'clock in the original room. So if you are local to the Los Angeles area, come on down as my guest. And, Matthew Kachuk just had a very, very nice post. Man, it's sad. So once again, R.I.P. Sid Udy, R.I.P. Johnny, and let's not forget his brother Matthew Gaudreau. You're just hearing Johnny Gaudreau died, but his brother also died too. And just condolences and love sent to the Gaudreau family. Their sister was going to get married today, and I think I saw a report that said Johnny's wife was 4 months pregnant, or I don't know if it was the wife or his sister. I mean, if you just were watching the NHL Network, you could see both analysts crying. So, it's just like, it's just, if you're fucking drunk, man, just get into a goddamn Uber. No one's gonna look down on you. It's not cool. Look how many lives now are ruined because of one decision that was completely fucking avoidable. Is Leslie coming in on Sunday night? I hope not. Because my 12:15 spot, with just her alone running the light, goes to 12:45. She don't give a fuck. And then the people who go on after Leslie are like, well, she ran the light, I'm going to run the light a few more minutes. And that's where it gets going. If one person runs the light, it's not that bad. I would say that 98% of my lights, or 98% of my spots, I've gotten off on time. Was there one or two sets where you're doing so well you kind of lose track and you do a little extra? Yeah, 100%. But even then, I try and get off on time. Um, so, yes, people run the light intentionally. And there's two types of people, comics that run the light, or two types of situations. Um, there's the comic who's doing so well they lose track of time, and it does happen. Especially if you're in the main room and the crowd's pumping, you get the adrenaline going, and you just don't want to stop. And it's almost like a drug. You don't want to leave if they're laughing. So I get that to a degree. But even when I'm doing that shit, I still try and get off on time. And then there's the comic, and this happens a lot, especially in the main room, because, in the main room, when you lose that crowd, it's a very tough room to get back. It's almost impossible. You have to be on a certain level to get the crowd back in the main room if you lose them, because it's such a big room, and there's so many people you've just lost that you've got to really have a lot of tools in the toolbox, if you know what I'm saying. And so there's the comic that's bombing that wants to end on a laugh, and it's just not going to happen. Some nights it just doesn't happen. From Attell to Chris Rock to me and every comic in between, there are nights when you just, it's sometimes it is the crowd, sometimes it's me, but it is, it's tough. Because, the comic afterwards, you got to reset the room. So if I'm following the one who's killing and they're not getting off on stage, they are cutting into my time. And then I've got to ride the wave of them doing well, which usually it happens with me. I've got a couple standard lines I use to keep the room going. But when the comic is bombing, you got to spend the first 2 to 5 minutes of your set kind of addressing the situation. And you don't want to be a dick and call out the comic for bombing, but sometimes you have to. And they might be friends of yours, but it's like, hey man, I'm up there alone in front of 400 people who aren't happy that the comic before me was bombing and running the light. At some point the audience clues in of, hey, shouldn't you get off stage and bring up the next act? So it's really, it depends on how well I know the person that was bombing. If I don't know them, I'll be a little more harsher. If they're really good friends of mine, I'll be as nice as I can in addressing the situation. Oh, 100%. I've never met Don Jameson. I was offered about a year ago a gig to open up for him. And I'm like, I'm not opening up for Don Jameson. No offense to him. I hear he's a great guy, so it's nothing personal, but I'm not. At some point in comedy, especially when you're my age, mid-50s, you got to make a stand of, hey, I'm not an opening comic anymore. I don't want to open up for anyone. I want to be the headliner. Now, obviously, if Dice Clay says, hey, Earl, Eleanor can't make the gig tonight, can you open for me? I would do it in 2 seconds. Because Dice is really the one who got me into comedy. So I've never met Don Jameson. Yeah, he's a comic, along with obviously Jim Florentine. I've met, obviously, I'm friends with Jim. He's done my podcast. And Don seems like the type of guy I would be friends with, but I've never met him, actually. So that's about it for this stream. I kind of like doing the stream on my phone. It's a little easier to, I don't know, it seems like the picture's a little better. But the camera on top of my iMac, it's a 4K camera, so I would imagine that the camera in terms of quality is better on my iMac than my phone. Dr. Nova, the true Jim Painter was one of the greats in LA comedy. Definitely someone who should have gone farther, but Jim was a weird dude. Like, he was doing that Andy Kaufman type stuff, and I just don't know. He tried to make a comeback a couple months ago at the store, and it was funny to me, but you could tell he was a little thrown off by the audience not liking that style of humor anymore. And he's brilliant. Painter is kind of a cross between Brian Holtzman and Andy Kaufman. Like, you just are watching, going, "What the fuck am I watching?" But I'm not sure what he's up to now. But one of the all-time great LA comics that should have been bigger. And who knows? That's the thing. You never know. In this business, who makes it and who doesn't. So, all right, guys, I got to go to yoga. This was a fun afternoon stream. I might do more of these streams. Or I might do none of them. This might be the last afternoon stream ever. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the picture right now, like, damn, this looks really nice. But the 4K camera like should look just as good. But and maybe it's because it's smaller. There's less frames. I don't know. I don't know much about bit rates and all that stuff. All right. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, T-Gun, William Zoom, all the Earlomaniacs. I'll see you at some point this weekend.